Welcome back. Homework. It's enough to stress out any child, teenager, parent as well. Neil McNerney is a counselor, a parenting expert, and the author of this book, Homework, A Parent's Guide to Helping Out Without Freaking Out. He's here to show us how to keep our cool when children are struggling with schoolwork. And, you know, as we were talking during the break, a lot of times we just expect that students will do their homework and get A's and everything should be great because they go to school and that's what it's for. But if they don't, then we kind of put a lot of pressure on ourselves.
Absolutely. We start feeling like they're doing it. One of the things that we do is we end up taking it personally. And we start thinking, why did they do that? And we start getting angry. And that's the biggest tip that I think I try to give parents as much as possible is don't take it personally. Don't think they're doing this to you. They're just doing it around you. The problem is when we become more and more anxious with our kids, our ability to lead them really starts to plummet. So that's one of the biggest things I try to help parents understand is pull back a little bit from the anger so that you can be the best leader possible.
Say if they're not doing their homework and they're just kind of being distracted by other things, whether it's, I'll get to it in a little bit or something like that, you know, they're not on your schedule. And that's kind of frustrating because I got dinner to make and I got stuff to do later on. If you don't come home and do your homework right away, it screws up the whole night.
Right, yeah. And one of the things, there's basically like 3 ways that we can lead our kids. Yeah. We can be a supporter, we can be a consultant, and we can be a boss. Sometimes the consulting piece is how do you give the advice on when are you supposed to do your homework? When do you want to do the homework? With staying calm while we're doing that and being able to be focused on, okay, is now a good time? Or is 20 minutes a good time from now? I love giving choices, but having control of those choices. Being able to say this or this. That way you can keep it in the right time frame.
Yeah, don't give them carte blanche. You say this is when I think it should be good, so you give them that option for it.
Exactly.
You mentioned don't take it personally. A couple other tips, specifically when it comes to praising, which I thought was kind of interesting.
One of the things about praising is sometimes if we keep praising, I love the idea of keep it short, keep it simple. Great job, fantastic, and then stop talking. Because sometimes if we keep talking, we end up taking it back. Great job. Now, why can't you do that every time? Right. Or that's fantastic. Now, but instead of a B+, maybe you can get an A next time. So sometimes just stopping with the praise and then let the kid feel good.
Because a lot of times we're saying that, but then, as you said, we're taking it back, and that just defeats the whole purpose of the praise as well.
Exactly.
I want to get to rewards and punishments as well, too, because a lot of times parents will just say, hey, if you don't get a B, then you're grounded for a week or something like that.
Right. The thing about rewards and punishments is punishments are demotivating. And that's why they work for misbehavior, because it stops kids from doing things. Rewards are motivating. So most of schoolwork is motivating. We want them to get to do things. So turning things around into a reward instead of a punishment works really well. For instance, just being able to say, no video games until your homework is done. That sounds like a punishment. Same thing. Hey, you get to play video games when your homework is done. Now it's a reward. So it's not about doing really complex point systems or figuring out going to the dollar store and getting a bunch of stuff. It's about some of those things that they do every day that they just get. Instead of just them turning it into a punishment, just make them earn those things. It works a lot better.
What are parents going to find in the book?
They're going to find about 8 or 9 different ways that kids deal with homework. Some of them positive, many of them negative. And then they're going to find 3 ways that we can lead them. I think the art is figuring out which way to lead them based on what they're doing, not based on what we're feeling. So it's a much more of a bit of a matrix of what are they doing, and now how can I deal with that best?
Neil McNerney is the author of the book Homework, A Parent's Guide to Helping Out Without Freaking Out. Thank you so much. The book available online?
It's available online, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, Nook, Kindle, every bookstore.
Excellent. Neil, thank you so much.